Dirtle Magic. Thank you for tuning in to Dirtle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and dirtle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Dirtle Magic. Today we're playing some more Feldon of the Third Path. Looking at our opening hand, lots of lands, some follow-up. I think we'll keep it just in case. Only 2 opponents today. We had a 4th one, but I guess they bugged out at the last second, so that's too bad. Let's see who we're facing. We are facing Thada Adel. 1 blue for legendary 2/2 Merfolk Rogue Island Walk. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, search that player's library for an artifact card and exile it. Then that player shuffles the library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. This is why Hammerheim is in this deck. Let's go ahead, play Emergent Zone, and pass it off to our opponents. We do get to go first. And our last opponent is Norin the Wary. Red for a 2/1 Human Warrior. Whenever a player casts a spell or a creature attacks, exile this card, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Our commander, 1 red for a legendary 2/3 Human Artificer, 2 red and tap. Create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Thought I dealt with an island and a mana crypt into play. That's unfortunate. I did say casual. Skyclave Relic, so we'll see how this goes, I suppose. This day is going to turn into a giant pile of crap, isn't it? Over to Norin the Wary. We have a snow-covered mountain into play. And Norin the Wary. Comes our turn, we get Spite Bellows. That could be pretty good later. We will need some artifact destruction though at some point. Let's go ahead, play a mountain, and get down the Idol of Oblivion. New addition to the deck. Did say I was going to work on it. We do make some tokens here. So I figured, card draw. Works pretty good. Plus we can sacrifice it to make another token in case we need a 10/10 for some reason. Terror of the Peaks, Warstorm Surge. Could be good. And we'll pass it off. To Thada Adel's turn, Bonk Crypt will trigger. They get the bonk down to 37. Thada Adel coming down for that player. Followed by Psychic Surgery. Whenever an opponent shuffles their library, you may look at the top 2 cards of that library. You may exile one of those cards, put the rest on the top of that library in any order. Interesting. So, with Thada Adel, when she hits, we do have to shuffle after she finds something. So, that means they just get extra random removal. Genesis Chamber coming down. That's not going to be good. Comes our turn, we get a mountain. Alright, let's go ahead and summon our Spite Bellows and get rid of Thada Adel real quick here. We made a mirror token, we'll respond by drawing a card. We get Null Spine Dragon. We will blow out the Thada Adel. And we'll pass it off. To Thada Adel's turn, Mana Crypt will trigger again. The Norin came back into play, they get another mirror. That's going to make a lot of mirrors. Thada Adel is down to 34. We have Thada Adel again. The decks don't usually depend on their commander too much, but for the early game they tend to do. I mean, they could have things like Ambassador of Sphinx, Agent of Treachery, stuff like that. Mirror token into play off that Genesis Chamber. On the bright side, it's going to provide blockers and card draw for us, but apparently, Norin's going to use it better than we are. Over to Norin's turn. Let's see what they'll do with it. 7 cards in hand. I mean, the engine's already going. They could just sit back and not do too much for a sec. We have NX Harden in the Forge. Nice, so it makes even more tokens. Norin on the attack. 2 of them into Thada Adel, 1 into us. I think we'll just take the 1 here. Thada Adel's on the block against 1 mirror. Alright, damage is good. We're down to 39. Thada Adel down to 33. Rolls over to our turn. We get Wormcoil Engine. That'll be good later. Let's get down a mountain. We could play 1000-Year Elixir. We wouldn't be able to draw anything, though, which is a bit of a sad face. Or we could play our commander and draw a card, which I think is what we're going to do here. We have enough mana to resummon him if necessary. And we get a mirror token. We'll go ahead and draw a card. We get another mountain. Alright, let's just pass it off to our opponents. Thada Adel does have Island Walk, so we do need to make sure we can deal with an enchantment at some point. I did have a few extra cards to deal with enchantments, not many though, so we'll see how things go. Norin back into play at end turn. More mirrors are happening. Over to Thada Adel. Let's see if they win the flip this time. They do win the flip. They stay at 33. Seize claim, enchant a land. There's going to be an island. Off to us? Yep, kind of figured. That is too bad. Thada Adel at us? Yep, they're going to steal an artifact from our deck. That's unfortunate. They'll also be able to exile one of the top 2 cards on our deck after shuffling as well. They get a Burnish Tart. Yeah, Thada Adel decks usually start by ramping really hard and stealing like Soul Rings, Burnish Tarts, Arcane Signets, stuff like that. Especially if somebody else has, you know, maybe a Mana Crypt. Alright, let's see what got exiled off that trigger. Trading Post. That's unfortunate. Good utility in the deck. Burnish Tart into play. Mirror Token into play. They do have enough mana left to sacrifice the Burnish Tart to get some more islands. They'll probably keep up the mana to fake out a counterspell, or if they have a counterspell. And unfortunately, we might just leave up our mana to activate Feldon to burn out the Thada Adel in response to maybe a Lightning Greaves or something. Squee the Immortal coming down for the Norin player. Yeah, that'll be good. Keep the engine going just in case. Another mirror token. No attacks out of Norin this time. That seems pretty good, I guess. At least it's not smacking us in the face. Another mirror token into play. Comes our turn, we get a mountain. Lots of lands this game. Let's go ahead and play a mountain. And I think at this point, we're going to have to leave up mana. Just to activate Feldon to get back the Spite Bells for a sec here. Actually, no. As long as it doesn't have haste, we'll be okay. Let's go ahead and activate Feldon. They'll need a very specific counter spell otherwise. Let's go ahead and draw a card off of the token. He does create tokens after all. We get Starstorm. Nice, help us take care of the mirror in a sec. Alright, let's go to attacks. And we'll attack the Thada Adel player. Norin will bounce out of existence. We have a mirror on the intercept. They will trade. Spite Bells is only a 6/1. Spite Bells will triggers when it dies. Let's kill Thada Adel. Thada Adel back down. They'll have to summon it again. And we'll pass it off. I assume at end of turn they will sacrifice the Burnish Tart for some lands. They do in fact do so, but that also means we get to recur it and sacrifice it for our own batch of lands. Assuming we can get there. I think next turn is definitely a Starstorm kind of deal, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Also, maybe play 1000-Year Elixir. Norin with another mirror. Rolling over to Thada Adel. Let's check out Annex real quick. Whenever another non-token creature dies. Okay, so right now it'd be Squee that dies. That's not too bad. We do have to discard. Let's go ahead and do Wormcoil Engine or Nullspine Dragon. Let's do Nullspine Dragon. Alright, over to Thada Adel's turn. Bonk Crypt will trigger. They lose the flip there, down to 30. Thada Adel coming back down. We will probably Comet Storm for 2 at that rate. I would consider going with 3, just for Annex, but I think he'll be alright. We have Endless One equals 2. Alright, so that's still within kill range for the Starstorm. Nothing else out of Thada Adel this turn. Their mana is all tapped down though, which also means no counter magic, which is something I always enjoy seeing. Over to Norin's turn. I am worried that they're going to have a pump for those 10 mirror. That could potentially be a lot of damage. So we might be a turn late on this board wipe, but let's see what happens. Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. Okay, so this one cares about making elementals. It also cares about instant sorcery cards. And loyalty on red planeswalkers you control. Nothing in the graveyard right now. So let's see. So it just creates the elementals, I suppose. Yep, creating 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They have haste. Alright, looks like 5 mirror off into us, 5 mirror off into Thada Adel, and each of us get an elemental. Ooh, and squeeze going off into Thada Adel. I mean, if it dies, it doesn't really matter anyway. Let's double check some stuff here. Yep. So all the assignments are correct. Do I want to take a bunch of extra damage? They do still have red up. It could still potentially be dangerous. Yeah, I mean, the mirrors are probably going to die anyway. If we can take a little bit less damage, that's fine. Alright, damage is good just about everywhere. Bunches of mirror down at this point. We are down to 33, Thada Adel down to 25. Norin's still healthy at 40. Hopefully we can change that soon. Elementals get sacrificed. Norin the Wary will come back into play. That means another mirror token from Genesis Chamber for that player. Comes our turn, we get Junk Diver. Sweet, let's play a mountain. And what do we want to do here? Definitely the Starstorm, but then we have 3 mana left over. We could do Junk Diver and get back the Burnished Heart. But I mean, we could always get back with Feldon for 3 too. So, don't know quite what to do there. Spite Bellows on the attack could be good though. And then finish off Annex, Harden in the Forge, because we won't hit with Starstorm rather. Yeah, seems like a plan. Nah, 1 mana short. Let's go ahead and go to the 2. Probably not going to do anything else this turn then. Starstorm for 2. Norin will dodge it though. All the air creatures die. Annex will trigger. They will get 1, I believe, little Satyr token. There it is. And that's it for us, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and pass it off. Norin will come back into play, and there's some mirror. So I think I'm going to start putting my attention more towards the Norin player. Thada Adel will have 4 cards in hand, depending on what they play, and stuff like that. Thada Adel still needs to be able to attack. And despite all the mana that they haven't really summoned anything too scary. That could change this turn, obviously. But we'll see how things go. The Bonk Crypt did hit them. They are down to 22. I think this next turn, Feldon activation, also get down Junk Diver just in case. If we get the Burnished Heart back, that's no big deal. We can always just cast it. Thada Adel coming back down. I really don't want to have my stuff stolen. Ironically, we're not finding Hammerheim this game. I do believe my last Feldon had an expedition map in it. I might need to consider adding that back in. It's not currently in the list here. That's it for Thada Adel. Going to roll over to Norin. Still 4 cards in hand for them as well. Like I said, I kind of want to start focusing more attention on Norin. Need a bigger board wipe. We're getting to the point where we could resummon Feldon and not have to worry too much about one more summon. Do want to get down 1000-year elixir at some point too, just so we can activate it twice. Looking forward to drawing some more cards too, thanks to the Genesis Chamber. Fabled Passage into play and cracked for the Norin player. I imagine it will be a mountain. It is. Psychic Surgery will trigger because they had to shuffle their deck. Let's see what gets exiled. Impact Tremors. That is like the best exile. I mean, to be fair, they could also have Pulveros. Warstorm Surge is a thing that can happen too, and Terror of the Peaks. Lotus Pell coming down for Norin. Norin tapping down even more mana. It looks like they're really committing to the board. Ooh, Combustible Gearhawk. I love this card, especially in Feldon. That's too bad. I was really hoping they'd start emptying their hand a bit. But good play. Like I said, love the card. They are choosing us. Let's see, at the rate they're playing things, I think we'll just take the damage. I want to keep them low on cards to refuel themselves. Alright, we take 7 damage. Let's see, Solemn Simulacrum, a Mountain, and what is this? Goblin Rabble Master? Yeah, them not having that's pretty good with me. Alright, looks like we have a number of different attacks. Let's see where they're going. Yep, Annex and us, I kind of figured. Satyr, and both mirror off into Thada Adel. Well, we'll block the Satyr at least. Alright, we take 4. We're down to 20. Thada Adel takes 1 down to 21. They're going to 0 on Chandra to add a little to counter 2 Chandra. End of turn, more mirror tokens. Comes our turn, we get Blasphemous Act. Let's play a mountain to begin with. I do want to play a creature to get some Genesis Chamber action so we can keep drawing cards. Seems pretty good. I think at this point, Blasphemous Act, Burnished Heart, get it down, sacrifice the Burnished Heart to get some lands, reset the board basically. Seems like a good play. Alright, let's go ahead and draw a card for it. We get Ugin the Ineffable. That'll be nice follow-up. Let's go ahead and sacrifice the Burnished Heart token to get some lands first. Pick a couple of mountains. Seems good. Psychic Surgery. Let's see what they exile from us. Command beacon. That's not the worst thing in the world. And let's B-act. Norin will dodge it. We have Mystical Tutor in response for Thada Adel. I'm really hoping it's not like Force of Will or Force of Negation. Harden in the Forge will trigger a bunch of times. We'll put Feldon back in the command zone. They get 4 Satyr tokens. Not the best. Let's pass it off. Norin comes back into play. They get a mirror. So they do have the potential to swing at us next turn for 10, I think it is. Sorry, it's 9. Bonk trigger on the upkeep for Thada Adel. Let's see if they take it. They do not. They win the flip. So I think Thada Adel is more or less done here. Do have to deal with Norin. Unfortunately, we're already at 20 life. And I don't necessarily think we can necessarily deal with them. Ugin to destroy Chandra. But then that's 6 mana. And we do have 9. Get down the Junk Diver for defense. Might be better to go with Wormcoil Engine and the Junk Diver. Coalition Relic coming down for Thada Adel. Amanatu's Augury. Didn't see that coming. Exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield. Then, until end of your turn, for each non-card type, you may cast a spell of the type among the exiled cards. Oops. Without paying its mana cost. Of course it's an Eldrazi. Sorry, a bit salty there. I don't like seeing the Eldrazi Titans in like a third of the games I play. It's boring to me. I don't know what else to say about it. My opinion, of course. Soul Ring also coming down for Thada Adel. Rhystic Study coming down as well. That's unfortunate. Norin comes back into play. No new mirror tokens. That might give us a leg up against Norin, but now we have Ulamog to deal with. Torbran, Thane of Red Fell. Yeah, that's going out of hand real quick. I hope most of it's aimed at Thada Adel. They do pay for the Rhystic Study trigger. Chandra making some elementals. So we could potentially be dead here. Thada Adel could also potentially be just decimated, and then they have like 1 turn to live. Unfortunately, we don't have haste. Alright, where's it going? Yeah, Eldrazi Titans will do that. So Torbran won't affect the mirror, but they are swinging with 6 red tokens, and that's 18 damage alone. Ulamog on the block against the mirror. Thada Adel down to 3. Alright, end of the turn. The elementals will go away. Norin will come back into play. Alright, so we could kill the Thada Adel player here with a Hoarding Dragon with haste because of Hanwar Battlements. That would take the majority of our mana. I don't know if we'd have any left for Junk Diver as a blocker, because we could more or less easily die to Norin with that Torbran out. And I do really want to remove that Torbran. But we can't afford losing our lands at the moment, so rocking a hard place, I guess. Let's do Hanwar Battlements. Let's do Hoarding Dragon. Might as well get something out of the deck. Thada Adel does have some mana left over. I think we're going to have to go ahead and pay the 1 here to keep them from drawing. Hoarding Dragon enters the battlefield. Let's go get something. Let's get the duplicate so we can take care of Torbran later, assuming we survive. Psychic Surgery will do some bad things to us. Bogard and Hellkite. To be fair, though, that's probably like the least of my worries. Let's go ahead and give our creature haste. And let's go to attacks. Hopefully take Thada Adel out of the game. Thada Adel is down. They did say they were going to attack the other player, but unfortunately, all random players, I don't know their personalities. Alright, let's pass it off. Hopefully not immediately die. Let's see. We would have 6 tokens to deal with. 18 plus 2. Nope. Looks like we're going to die. Unfortunate for us. But rocking a hard place didn't ramp enough either, so what can you do? Norin's turn. Mountain into play. Yep. Elemental's coming down. Elemental Mastery. Alright. On to Torbran. Nice. Also part of a combo with things like Midnight Guard. They're going to make 2 elementals with haste. Bit overkill. Ooh, different art though. Let's take a look real quick. That is some crazy looking goat. I kind of want one. We have the full attack. Yep. So what is that? 8 times 3, 24. Well, good game to our opponent. Unfortunately, we didn't even touch them. Oof. Yeah, I guess I'll give it to Norin. Alright, we get 1 point. 3 points goes over to the Norin player. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. Made a few changes. Not too many, but there are new cards I'm still looking at to add. Okay, here's the deck. So new addition to the deck include Terror of the Peaks, because having a creature that can be recurred to then recur other creatures upon to burn stuff is a lot easier to get back than Warstorm Surge, because we're in red. We don't usually do that. Ugin the Ineffable. Not only does it help us cast our Koas artifacts, it also lets us have quasi card draw with a token into play, which works really good with a card we'll discuss in a second, and it destroys enchantments most of the time, so had to add that in. Idol of Oblivion worked out really well this game off that Genesis Chamber, but again, it synergizes with our Commander, Wormcoil Engine, Mirror Battlesphere, Ugin the Ineffable, other stuff that might make tokens like Pion Kirin Nalar. So I think it's a decent addition to the deck. I'm still testing it out. I don't know if we're going to be able to make tokens all that time to get some stuff. Plus, especially their one-shot effects, it really does kind of rely on Feldon, so I am looking at maybe tweaking that a little bit, but we'll see how things go. Worked out great this game for some card draw. And then I add Ilharg the Razor as a creature-based kind of like sneak attack thing. What I do like about it, as opposed to Porphyros the Bronze Blood, is our creatures don't necessarily get sacrificed. Because there are times in a Feldon deck where you sacrifice a creature at the end of the turn, and then Feldon gets nuked, and you're kind of sitting there because you're in red, and you don't have a lot of recursion for anything besides artifacts. And if you notice our skew of colors here, a lot of our better stuff is just straight red. There's not too many artifacts up top. I mean, Combustible Gearhulk straddles the line, but you don't necessarily want to depend on that kind of stuff, so you do want something a little bit extra in the deck. Speaking of extra and recursion, we do have, of course, the awesome and wonderful Underworld Breach. Haven't come up in testing yet. I don't know that I'm going to like this card necessarily, but for a 2-mana basically tax plus some exiling stuff to get one thing back, could be pretty good. Plus, if it dies, we can just get it back with Feldon if it's a creature. Now, again, I don't know that I like this card in here. It hasn't come up for testing, so I'm reserving my judgment. But it doesn't feel quite right for this deck, so again, just grains of salt and all that jazz. Anyway, that's it for this game of Feldon. Bit of a short one. We had, like I said, the 3 opponents, and one of them bugged out right at the beginning there. Just even before the game loaded. I saw an icon, it went to go, and then they weren't there. However, if you saw any cards in this game that you might want to purchase for yourself, please consider using the TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. It helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Alright, on to the last game of Feldon. Might make some tweaks to the deck. Again, Underworld Breach. It hasn't come up in testing. I'm just not feeling it. It's not jiving with me, and I've played Feldon a lot. It was one of my favorite decks years ago. I'm probably going to take it out. I don't know what to tell you. Also, want to put in an Expedition map. Hammerheim did not come up against Thada Adel. It's the only reason it's in this deck from way back when. I, unfortunately, didn't get to celebrate that slight victory. In either case, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you for the next game.